Mississippi mud pie is an impressive dessert, but it suffers from too many choices. You've got to pick a crust, build a gooey chocolate layer, and top it off with something cool and creamy. Speaking of cool and creamy.
Mississippi mud pie is a real project, and as you mentioned, there are 3 layers. There's the crust, there's a chocolatey layer, and then something else on top. We wanted a nice, easy crust, because this is a project. We wanted it chocolatey, and the best way is to make a chocolate cookie crust. And of course, the best chocolate cookie crusts are made with these. These are famous wafers made by Nabisco, and we like them because they're not too sweet. So this is 25 of these little cookies, and we're gonna break them up and put them in the food processor. We're going to grind them into fine crumbs, and that takes about 30 seconds. This is 4 tablespoons of unsalted melted butter. We're just going to pulse this together, about 4 to 6 pulses. To turn these crumbs into a crust, we're just going to use the bottom of a flat measuring cup here and just pack the crumbs down. Then I'm going to use the side of the measuring cup and just angle it to the side of the pie plate. You just want to press it into the side. All right, so this guy is ready for the oven. We're gonna par bake it just until it's fragrant and set, and that takes about 15 minutes in a 325-degree oven. This crust has come out of the oven, and you know it's done because you can feel that it's set a bit when you touch it.
I can also smell it.
And it's very fragrant.
Oh, yeah.
And it's okay if this is still warm when you make this next layer.
Okay.
And it starts, of course, with some deep chocolate flavor. So we're gonna use 4 ounces of bittersweet chocolate. To this, we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter and 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. The vegetable oil will help keep that brownie good and chewy. We're also gonna boost the chocolate flavor with a little Dutch processed cocoa, and that's 1.5 tablespoons.
Okay.
We're just gonna melt this all together until it's good and smooth, and that's about 1.5 minutes in the microwave at 50% power. Oh, nothing like a little chocolate and butter mixed together. Gonna give this a good stir, make sure all those pieces of chocolate are good and melted. Let it cool for just a few minutes while we make the rest of this mixture. This is 2/3 of a cup dark brown sugar. We're gonna add 2 large eggs. This is 2 teaspoons of vanilla. This is 1/4 teaspoon salt. We're just gonna whisk this together till it's nice and smooth. To this mixture, I'm gonna add our melted chocolate. Last but not least, we're just gonna add a little bit of flour, obviously, to help the whole thing hold together.
All right.
This is 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. We're just gonna whisk this in, and that's it. We're just gonna pour this mixture right into our crust.
I have to say, when I was a kid, my sister and I used to make actual mud pies. We even had a cookbook
You did?
that had how to make a real mud pie and all these other outdoor desserts.
Like how much dirt to how much water?
Totally, yeah, there were
what's the-
ratios in there. I can't remember them off the top of my head.
No wonder you turned out to be such a good cook.
This is so much better looking and smelling than any of the mud pies that my sister and I made.
All right, so this has to go back into the oven until that brownie layer cooks, and that takes about another 15 minutes.
All right.
Ooh, smell that?
Yes.
So we're gonna let this cool on the counter for about an hour, and then we're gonna put it in the refrigerator and let it really chill out for another hour before we put that top layer on.
Okay.
But in the meantime, we're gonna make a little topping, little crunchy bits. So I'm gonna have you help me here.
All right.
We're gonna take some more of these wafers. This is 10 of these wafers. We're gonna put them in a bag, and you're gonna whack them all.
Oh, okay.
Now we want big pieces, like 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. You can't get too much aggression now, just slight tapping.
All right.
So I'm gonna put all these chocolate pieces into a big bowl. To this, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of confectioner sugar. That will help ensure that the topping stays good and crisp. 1 tablespoon of Dutch processed cocoa.
Never enough.
A little bit of salt. This is 1/8 teaspoon of salt. We're gonna stir this together, almost like we do for the crust. You take the cookies and you turn them into something else. We're doing the same thing here. To this, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of unsalted melted butter. You wanna stir this together until it's all dark and glossy. You don't see any of that powdered sugar left over. So we're just gonna dump this out onto a parchment-lined baking sheet. So you just wanna spread them out a little bit onto the baking sheet. We're just gonna bake these for about 10 minutes again in that 325-degree oven. So So for the top layer, this last layer, this is somewhat controversial because some pies use a layer of ice cream on top, but that doesn't travel well, it doesn't hold well. So instead we're gonna make a very quick mousse. We're gonna start with heavy cream. Now this is a cup of heavy cream, and I took 3 tablespoons of it and I heated it up in the microwave because I want to dissolve some of these other flavorings. So here we have 2 tablespoons of confectioner sugar. We're gonna add more chocolate, of course, 2 tablespoons of Dutch processed cocoa, 1/8 teaspoon salt. We're gonna whisk this together. We're gonna take this chocolate mixture, put it into our standing mixer. And to this, we're gonna add the rest of the cream. Again, that was a cup of cream. And this cream is chilled because chilled cream whips better. We're gonna whip this mixture to stiff peaks. And as always, we're gonna start on low, build that structure, and then finish on high.
All right.
Ooh, yeah, look at that. This is 6 ounces of melted milk chocolate, and we found that the temperature of the chocolate really matters here because if the chocolate is too warm, it'll melt the whipped cream, but if it's too cold, the whipped cream won't incorporate evenly. So the magic temperature is between 90 and 100 degrees.
Okay.
We just melted this in the microwave and then we let it sit on the counter. Perfect. We're just gonna take about 1/3 of this whipped cream. We're gonna add it to the chocolate and incorporate the fluffy into here to really lighten it up. Now I'm gonna take the rest of this mousse and gently put it in the bowl. All right, so to fold these two together, I just like to spin the bowl. I'm gonna clean the edges. And we're just gonna keep doing this until there's no real streaks of chocolate left. We're gonna spread this on top of our cooled pie. I'm just gonna slowly spread this out. I'm gonna leave a little crust showing. You wanna know that's under there. Last but not least, we have our topping. So I'm gonna take these cookie crumbles, just crumble them over the top. All right, so this pie needs to chill for about 3 hours in the fridge to help that mousse layer set up, but you could let it chill overnight. All right, so it's eating time.
Oh, thank goodness.
This pie is well chilled, so let's dig in. Ooh. Hello.
I mean, it's incredible. Now, it was a little bit of work, but let me just tuck in there.
I love that it's not too sweet. It's creamy and chocolatey, and you get that layer on the bottom and that mousse on top.
This is the best Mississippi mud pie I've ever had, and I've eaten them all. If you'd like to make our stunning Mississippi mud pie at home, well, you gotta start from the bottom up with a simple chocolate cookie crumb crust. Then top that crust first with a gooey brownie layer, followed by a fluffy, creamy layer of chocolate mousse. Finally, a crisp, crunchy layer of cookie crumbs baked with butter provides a suitable crown for this queen of desserts. And so there you have it from Cook's Country, the most marvelous, majestic, and magnificent Mississippi mud pie. Thanks for watching Cook's Country from America's Test Kitchen. So what'd you think?
Leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or just say hi.
Now you can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
Alligator.